Hi, I'm Nick Hague and I'm the host of the World's Greatest Business Thinkers podcast. Today I'm going to speak to Paul about marketing frameworks. Many of the people using the B2B Frameworks website will have responsibility for marketing. Before we get into specific frameworks, I think it'd be good to spend a couple of minutes talking about marketing itself. So getting back to basics, what is marketing? How does it differ from selling and why is it so important to businesses?
Okay, well, I think at the centre of marketing is the fact that it focuses on the customer. That sounds a bit strange because selling also, you would think, focuses on the customer, but I'll come to that. So what could be a reasonable definition of marketing? Well, as a working one, I'd suggest it's the profitable satisfaction of customer needs. So there's a few key words in that. First of all, marketing is about making a profit. Most people are looking at marketing or in business, they want to turn a profit. And it's about satisfying customers' needs. Now, that's rather different to selling. I used to work for a wire and rod mill. And that rod mill wasn't profitable unless it was 85% full. So there was a very big focus on keeping it full. Orders coming in. And the salespeople within that organisation were king because they went out and got the orders and kept the mill full. Now their focus was on the mill, getting the sales, getting the rod out of the mill into the hands of the customers rather than the customer's needs. Even if the customer wasn't too demanding a rod that particular week, they were under a lot of pressure to sell them rod. So there, selling is about persuasion, and the focus there is on the seller rather than on the customer. So the definition of marketing is the profitable satisfaction of customer needs.
Okay, so the key difference therefore is that marketing is all about attracting buyers, creating a preference for your product or service, while selling is about just guiding that buyer to make a purchase.
Yes, and further to what you've just said there, it's about recognising who the target customer is, because not everybody is going to be a target customer for whatever you're selling. Whereas if you're selling, you almost don't mind who buys the product, just get rid of the product to whoever will give you some money for it. Whereas I think the marketer would be focusing on the customer, saying, is this a customer that wants and needs my product, and can I satisfy them with it?
Yeah. Well, marketing is such a huge topic. I guess this is a very big area for business frameworks, the website itself. What's your advice for delving into these frameworks? Where should we begin? I can imagine that everyone with a responsibility for marketing will at some time have to develop a marketing plan. So what framework or frameworks would be useful here?
Well, there are 60 frameworks on the website, and you're right. If there's 60 frameworks, which one is the starting point? And I think a good starting point is a classical framework. It's the 4 Ps. And the 4 Ps are, it's an acronym, isn't it? The 4 Ps are the product, the price, the promotion, and the place. It's having the right product. And by the way, that's probably the most important of the 4 Ps. I mean, we have an offer, and that's what we want to meet people's needs with, and that's the product. It might have some wraparound services to go with it. We need to put the right price on it, because if it's too expensive, they're not going to buy it. If it's too cheap, then we're leaving money on the table. So having the right price is important. And then, of course, customers have to be able to get hold of it. So it has to be available in the right place. We have to have availability through the necessary supply chains. And finally, we need the promotion that alerts people to the fact that we've got a product, it might be one that they need, and it tells them all about it. So those 4 Ps, I think, are a very good starting point.
Yeah.
Now, there's another framework that might be worth thinking about to go with the 4 Ps, and that's the customer journey. Because those 4 Ps play a different role at different parts of the customer journey. So, for example, the starting point of a customer journey is a customer becoming aware of the product. So promotion is really important at that part of the customer journey. Communicating what the product is, why they might buy it, and what the benefits are to them. And then the customer gets interested in it and probably wants to know things like the price and its availability. So the other aspects of the 4Ps might drop in there until finally the customer says, well, I'll buy this product. It might be a test purchase, or it might be that the fact that they simply buy the product, but they're going to acquire the product and see if it does meet their needs. And it's at that stage where if the product fulfills the needs and everything else has gone right, that they'll come back and buy more. There'll be loyalty about it. So I think we start with the 4Ps and then we think about how those 4Ps relate to the customer journey.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we fall back a lot of the time on classic marketing frameworks, don't we, such as the 4Ps, and these have been added to and extended to over time. So the 4Ps has also grown into the 7Ps, where you bring people, process, and physical evidence. That the Ps, in terms of purchasing, process, product, promotion, and place are all key. But you do need to have those right people, the processes, and showing that evidence to substantiate your claims is true. But I still think the 4Ps is something rather than the 7Ps.
Yes.
So lots of different frameworks to help with our marketing plan and implementing that. What are the pitfalls that people should look out for in this section of the website? What are the most common causes of marketing failure?
Wow. Well, of course, you can fail on many dimensions. You could charge too high a price for your product. You could fail to promote the product. However, I think one of the biggest failures, Theodore Levitt in 1960 wrote a seminal article called Marketing Myopia, Marketing Short-Sightedness. And I think it's interesting that it's only just a few years ago, 1960, that actually this guru of marketing wrote this article. In other words, it shows how new marketing is. And marketing myopia in this article referred to American manufacturers of buggy whips. A buggy whip is the leather whip which somebody would use to cause the horse pulling the buggy to go faster. And manufacturers of buggy whips went out of business when the motor car was developed because there were no buggies. Now, Theodore Levitt made the point that if those people had been marketing orientated and looked not just as saying we are manufacturers of buggy whips, but we make equipment for transportation vehicles, they might have thought that they could make fan belts for cars instead of buggy whips. But they didn't. So they had short-sightedness. They were looking just at their own product. And I think when we look at a lot of marketing failures, they're to do with marketing myopia. So perhaps it's a little bit unfair to name them, but people like Kodak, who made film, were aware of the digital camera. In fact, it's said that they invented a digital camera, but they didn't market it because they thought that they would be usurping their existing product. So a lot of failures are the result of people disrupting markets and not recognizing that their market is going to be disrupted. This is, of course, the homework of Clayton Christensen. And we've seen that with Kodak, but we've also seen it with people who make light bulbs and probably people who make cars, people who make steel. Any large manufacturer is in danger of disruption. So that's one of the dangers of marketing myopia, marketing short-sightedness.
Yeah, I mentioned this before, and it comes from our background, but I think that's where failure to know your market is really dangerous, and therefore market research is key to any successful marketing strategy. Know your target market, know what they want, and how to reach them, and will likely make significant marketing mistakes if you don't conduct market research. You might target the wrong market, use the wrong message, or even use the wrong channel. So do your homework and invest in that knowledge to help with your marketing strategy.
It's important you brought that up, Nick, because the starting point of almost every framework is fact-finding, research and analysis in order that you can determine what the issues are that you need to address. Yeah. So yes, research the market, segment the market, determine how big that is, market size that market, address the customer needs within that market, and make sure that your value proposition meets those needs. And there's frameworks for all of those things.
Yeah, and I think what I've seen throughout my career is that the most common mistake is that people, they think they know marketing. They don't actually have proper marketing knowledge, and it's a complex field. It takes years to master a lot of these concepts, a lot of these frameworks. And as a result, people do make mistakes. They think they understand the basics, but they don't. And I think that's why the B2B Frameworks website is excellent. It allows you to educate yourself on the basics of marketing, as well as some of those more advanced models and frameworks. So
when I first started my commercial life, I joined Dunlop, large rubber company, and the people within that organisation were unscrewing the titles on their doors. So the sales director unscrewed his that said sales director and put in marketing director. It was exactly the same guy. And he was very sales orientated rather than marketing orientated. And I think it's a failure that many companies make in seeing themselves as being in the business of having a product that they need to get rid of, that they need to sell, rather than meet the needs of their customers so they become loyal and repeat and come back time and time again.
Yeah. Well, we said there's a huge section on this on the website, b2bframeworks.com. If you are interested, delve deeper. There'll definitely be a framework that can help you. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.